to be honest, I'm not sure what to make of this team anymore. You get such a hot start to the season, and then that 3-game beatdown of the Oilers where the Leafs were near on perfect, and then they hit that skid where they were losing all the games but still playing really well, and then they come back and win a bunch of games after that, and they look kind of like they're working back up into form, and then they hit another skid where against Montreal a couple nights ago or a couple games ago they just had one of their worst periods of the season to open that game, and then they kind of bounce back a bit against Calgary, play a bit better, scrape out a point, and then they actually have a really good start to the game tonight, but then it just all unravels for whatever reason, right? Like, I know parity is a big thing in the NHL now. It's a competitive league and stuff, but the consistency for the Leafs is something they've just been struggling with for so many years with this young team, and I thought they'd finally figured it out this year. But obviously that's not entirely the case. So this game, like I said, started really well. The Leafs, like I said, that game against Montreal 2 games ago, one of the worst periods of hockey I've seen them play all year. They were just giving the puck away. They were slow. They were disorganized. It was god-awful. This was exactly the opposite. They had pace. They were the more aggressive team playing in Winnipeg's end and taking it more to the Jets. And it was good to see because they got on the board first with Galchenyuk's. Is it his first goal or has he already scored? But anyways, Galchenyuk scored on a nice play. They broke out on a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-1, I think it was, and Tavares, I believe it was, had it down the right wing with Marner over, and then Galchenyuk more over towards the center of the slot. Tavares chipped it over to Marner, and then Marner went across the slot to Galchenyuk, and he went top shelf over the blocker of Hellebuck. And play went on for a while because they thought it had hit the post or something, but eventually play was stopped and everything, and they sorted out that it was a goal. So 1-0 Leafs, and they commented on this that when the Leafs score the first goal of the game, they're 16-1-2 or something like that, right? So that if the Leafs score first in the game, chances are they're going to win, and that's something that they didn't do in their 2 losses recently, both against Calgary and Montreal. They were not first on the board; the other teams were, and so this was kind of a good reversal, right? They had a hot start, they got the first goal, things were looking up. Cue disaster. 3 goals in just over 3 minutes for the Jets. Later on in the first period, it was first one I think was Ehlers from the top of one of the face-off circles. He beat Campbell clean with a wrist shot through the pads, I think it was. So obviously it was one that Campbell wanted to have back. It probably shouldn't have gone in. The second one was who the hell got it? Well, it doesn't matter. But again, it was a low shot. This one was a little closer in. But again, just another clean beat on Campbell. And then the third one, though, he couldn't have done anything about that. The Leafs, another bad pinch, another kind of blunder resulted in Scheifele getting a breakaway, and he dangled Campbell pretty good. And after that third goal, they pulled Campbell and put in Riddick. The period would end 3-1 Winnipeg, and in the second period, the Leafs came out with a fresh power play. And that's the other thing. They had a 5-on-3 for a good length, 5-on-3 in the first period to try and get back into it and everything. Or maybe it came before those goals. I don't remember. But either way, it just sucked the momentum right out of them again. Like, they, I think, got 2 shots total on the 5-on-3, kind of like they did against Calgary. This one, I thought, though, the power play had good movement and stuff. But it's like they're diddling around with it too much instead of just making some straight-nosed plays and getting the puck towards the net and getting one to go in off someone's fucking nose or their ass or something, right? That's what I always hear people say on the broadcast is when a power play is struggling, just simplify. Don't try and make the fancy dancy through your legs pass, back pass, drop pass, whatever. Just get in the zone, take a shot. Just put it on net. Get somebody in front of the net and take away the goalie's eyes and just put it towards the net. Put it towards the net. Don't fuck around with it, right? But that's the Leafs. They got so much talent on that team. They love to fuck around with it, right? So I say they should put out the third and fourth liners for the power plays and let them diddle around with it for a while and see if they can get things going. Like, what do you do at this point, right? So then, yeah, they started the second period. Or no, I think that was the third period. Anyways, they came out in the second period, stabilized the game a bit, and eventually crawled back into it. It was 6-7 minutes in. Robertson received a pass kind of on the right side of the ice, right around the Winnipeg blue line. Couldn't control it, but the puck went down into the corner. Spezza took off after it, and before he caught up to it, he spied Tavares just off the bench going straight towards the net. So he just flung it out of the corner onto Tavares' stick, and he just had an easy tap in. So 3-2. For the most part, the Leafs were the better team. The 3-minute span of 3 goals and the shitty power play notwithstanding, the Leafs were the better team. They were the team controlling the pace of the game, getting more chances, that sort of thing. But this misfortune just seemed to befall them. So the game would go to the break 3-2. And like I said earlier, I thought it was the second, but I think it was actually the third. They came out to start the period with a fresh power play. Couldn't do anything with it. And on Winnipeg's first shot of the period, which took a little while, and it wasn't really a shot too, it was just a kind of misfortunate Marner wanting to diddle around with it kind of play, right? It was a one face-off in the Winnipeg zone. It came to Marner, but it kind of came out pretty hot, and he couldn't handle it, so he had to kind of chase it back towards his own end, and it went across the ice, and it was going to the right of Riddick along the boards there, and Marner was skating after it, but Ehlers was right on his ass, and I don't think Marner realized it, and as he tried to catch up to it, he tried to do something with it and bobbled the puck or whatever, and it kind of rolled off of their, as Ehlers was kind of take the puck from him, the puck kind of rolled off both their sticks towards the goal, and Riddick came out to kind of get ready to play it with a stick and whack it up the boards, and just before he could do that, Ehlers just reached ahead and poked at the puck, and it went through Riddick's legs and into the net. It was just like a fucking disastrous piece of shit goal, but it just goes to show you gotta give 100% effort and be hard on every puck, right? Or even if you're the most talented player on the team like Marner can be, right? Disaster can come your way if you're not going 100%, right? Now who knows if he was, but yeah, it just seems these plays, they're kind of casual, I guess, right? Like I don't know. The Leafs, like I said, they just need to find that consistency, and they haven't been able to. This year's been better, and I thought at some point, like I said, they had it finally, but obviously they don't. But hopefully they're getting there. So yeah, and then Winnipeg added a power play goal later on in the third to make it 5-2, and there's the game. So, and this is huge too, because Winnipeg's the team right behind the Leafs, chasing the Leafs for first place. So, and they play a bunch in the next little while. So, these are important games. I mean, they're all important at this stage of this schedule as we're getting close to the end of it. But yeah, especially against Winnipeg, because they're the next team in line. So, Leafs basically owned the third period, but got scored on twice and lost the game 5-2. Lineup notes: Matthews didn't play, so that hurt. He was a late scratch, I believe, at practice. I don't know what it is, if it's his wrist again or whatever, but Adam Brooks was thrown in the lineup because of that. Because of Matthews missing the game. Nylander's still out because of COVID, so Robertson was still got another game. And then, of course, Freddie's still hurt, and Campbell kind of fumbled a bit, so Riddick had to go the rest of the way. So they still have some injuries and stuff, and some guys not in the lineup that's hurting them and stuff, but they still have a good enough team that they should be able to not lose 5-2 to Winnipeg, right? I mean, Winnipeg's a good team, but still the Leafs are better, I think, even with those guys out. they're pretty close teams, but yeah, it's just they seem to find a way to shoot themselves in the foot, and this power play thing is just unbelievable. And that's another thing. Like, Leafs went 0 for whatever on their power play. Winnipeg went 2 for 3, right? Like, there's the game right there, basically, right? So the Leafs are now 1 for 43 or something like that on their last number of power plays, and it defies all logic. And like I said, put out the third and fourth liners and just say, go to the net, shoot, whatever. Let the top guys not even worry about it for a while and maybe get a bit embarrassed about it or something, right? Like, because this is just fucking unbelievable. I've never seen a drought like this. Maybe with a shitty team, yeah, but with such a team with such offensive firepower, I've never seen this before. And you know it's going to come. One game they're finally going to get a couple, and then that's going to be it. Everybody's going to fucking relax, and it's going to go back to the way it was, and then they'll start scoring on it regularly again, right? But I really thought that was going to have happened by now, long before now, right? But it just keeps going and going. So, that's a mental thing too, right? That it gets in your head and you keep hearing about it, and they're probably, struggling with that, trying to make the perfect play and maybe squeezing the stick a bit too much while they're out there because they want to end this thing, right? So, yeah, so, I mean, they got some injuries, they got this power play thing going on, but there's still enough games left in the season that hopefully they can get these bodies back. They can have some time to work on the power play and everything, and they do have some reinforcements coming with the guys they traded for that are quarantining right now too. So that should help them if they do continue to have these guys out of the lineup. That they'll at least have some other players coming in that can maybe fill those roles a little more effectively than they can right now. So yeah, too bad they lost. That's 3 in a row, 1 point in 3 games. Not great, but all you can do at this point is put it behind you, look forward to the next game, and hopefully go out and blow some of these doors off. I haven't even looked ahead, so I assume they play on Saturday night. We'll see who it is, and I'll be back to ramble on about it as I do. So long.